Hudson County View live and uncut. I'm your host, the guy that's a cult of personality that'll tell you 2 and 2 makes 3, John Heinis, and of course we're going to talk the latest and greatest in Hudson County news. So first of all, a bit of breaking news this morning already. We heard from Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop in a campaign announcement. He is officially running for governor in 2025. Not an enormous surprise to those of us that have been following along closely. Of course, he said on January 3rd that he would not be seeking a 4th term. He's had 2 super PACs that have been consistently raising money, and this is pretty expected. But nonetheless, he's the first declared candidate in this race, so that's going to be fun to talk about. We're also going to chat a little bit, still in Jersey City, some items on the council agenda tonight. One is banned local gas stations from fueling up illegal dirt bikes and ATVs, and another that would halt cannabis dispensary applications for 6 months. We're also going to talk about potential early polling in the West New York municipal elections. Of course, that's on May 9th in those nonpartisan races. And today, coincidentally, I'm joined by Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day, an early supporter of Mayor Fulop, so I'm sure we're going to have a fun conversation. All that and a little bit more right after this word from our sponsors.
150 around front, please.
We designed the F-150 to be tough. And we delivered on towing and payload like you'd expect. We also made it smart, starting with an available hybrid powertrain. This engine also allows you to use your truck as a high wattage generator. It's the kind of capability that a truck owner's really never had before.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
And as I mentioned a few moments ago, today I'm joined with Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day. Bill, thanks for coming in.
Always a pleasure, John.
So obviously, I thought the most interesting thing we'd be talking about was the chairman of the board that you're on stepping down. But
yes,
of course, now life happens, and we have Stephen Fulop running for governor officially. So you were an early supporter for mayor. I think really the first big endorsement he got. And it's been about a decade now. So tell me how this all comes full circle for you.
So he actually called me this morning, which is probably because when he didn't run last time, he didn't call me that day. But we had a good conversation. He's committed to this. I think he's a very, very formidable candidate, and he sees a lot of advantages getting out early. Most of the other potential candidates don't even have that option. He's raised the money. He's going to run on a record of a lot of executive experience. He's shown a tremendous amount of growth since the last time he went through this process. He's married, he's got 2 children, he's got a much different perspective, a much more mature perspective, and I think he's in it to win it.
Okay. So let's say hypothetically you were campaigning with Mayor Fulop and you were in Montclair or Bloomfield, Asbury Park, whatever. What would be your message to the voters at those doors that aren't as familiar with his track record in Jersey City?
I would say he's done an excellent job as the mayor. I think he's been able to balance budgets. I think he's been able to foster a lot of progressive items throughout his tenure. And he's had a lot of stability in government. I think he's got the knowledge, I think he's got the experience, and he's very intelligent. He's very, very intelligent, and I think that those are the qualities that make a really good governor.
Okay. Now, conversely, obviously you hear a lot from the political windmill, let's call it, and there's people out there that believe that this is either U.S. Rep. Gottheimer or U.S. Rep. Sherrill's race to lose. I mean, what do you think of that perspective?
Well, if you go historically, very few U.S. reps ever get elected governor, and those that do don't usually do that well as governor, in great part because they lack executive experience. When you've run a city of almost 300,000 people, you deal on a day-to-day basis with the type of issues that you have to deal with as governor. And Steve's done that. So whether it's crime, whether it's issues with housing, education, you're not just voting on a bill that affects either the whole country or an area. You're dealing on a day-to-day basis with hands-on decisions that affect people's lives the day that you make it. And I think that that gives an executive, a mayor like Steve, a huge advantage when you get on a stage and start to talk about what you're going to do. He's going to be able to say, here's what I did. Not that I voted for this bill or that bill. He's going to be able to say, I did this when faced with COVID. So he's going to be able to look at what Jersey City did when we were faced with the COVID crisis. And he's got a really good record on things that Jersey City did. Congressional people can say, hey, we allocated all this money, we did this, we did that. But allocating dollars and impacting lives on a boots on the ground level, like Jersey City did, is much different when you're talking about being the governor of the state of New Jersey.
So look, it's still extremely early by anybody's measure, right? We're 26 months out.
Yep.
So whether we're talking Mikey Sherrill, Ross Baraka, Sean Spiller, whatever, what would you say is the keys to victory in this race?
So I think the keys are, one, branding. I think Steve's got to brand himself outside the inside, so the inside circle knows him. Even within then, I think he can upgrade his brand, get into the more details of the accomplishments of the mayor. Vision. I think the keyest thing that Steve needs to develop early, which I think is the advantage of coming out early, is his vision. So what is your vision going to be for the next 4 years or your first 4 years as the governor? And I think his ability to get out early with a powerful vision will give him a big edge. So I think those are the two important factors. And then there's the inside politics game, right? Do you line up different counties? Do you get different lines? You got to do that. And I think Steve will be effective at doing that, as effective, if not more effective, than the other candidates. But vision, I think, is going to be critical. And I think he can demonstrate a very strong vision based on performance. Proven performance, not promises.
So with the party line being what it is in New Jersey, could you make the argument, or could anyone really make the argument, that whoever gets the most party lines will win?
No. I mean, it's certainly important to have the party lines. If that's the case, then why do we have the primary, right? We should just, whoever gets the most party lines wins and everybody drops out. No, I think they're critical, and I think Steve will get his share of them. Could get a lot of them, most of them, depending on how he takes the next 12 to 18 months in getting out his message, creating his branding, creating his vision. I think that that'll be critical, but I don't think whoever gets the most lines win. You, in a multi-candidate primary, will probably have the county split in 4 different directions. So yeah, if 20 counties line up one way and one county lines up another way, yeah, of course, that's a problem. But if you've got 6 or 7 and someone else has 6 or 7 and somebody's got 4 or 5, then it's going to be wide open. And we've had those primaries before in the state of New Jersey, and the person with the most lines didn't always win.
So you think it's shaping up to be a dogfight?
As of now, I think it is, but who knows what it is. The other candidates aren't announced. The congressional representatives have to deal with a 2024 election, which may not be that easy. It's going to be a tough, potentially, 2024 election for them. And again, I know Mayor Ras Baraka is a good guy. I don't know what his ultimate goal is, or he's going to be running at the end of the day or not.
Thank you. Commish, don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Heinis, still here with Hudson County Commissioner Bill O'Day. All right, Commissioner, let's head back to just the strictly local stuff. So we now have heard, and I heard this a couple weeks ago, that Hudson County Board of Commissioners Chair Anthony Venerio was stepping down on Thursday. It appears, by all indications, that Bob Basilise, who's running with the HCDO support, will be his replacement, and then Commissioner Anthony Romano will be the chair. Is that basically how you see things unfolding here?
Yes, so I think that Chairman Venerio will step down, I guess, at the end of the meeting on Thursday. The committee people would have to meet to select the interim, obviously as an election. And then Anthony Romano will become the acting chair by the rules. And I think we will probably solidify that or have a vote, I guess, at the next meeting to do that for the remainder of this year.
And when's the next meeting after Thursday?
2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks, and then at the same time we would move Jerry Walker, who's pro tem, up to vice chair, and we would slot, I think the wisdom is like Fanny Cedeno into the pro tem position.
Okay.
So.
And what do you think about Chairman Veneri, tied for the longest tenure as chairman, as you know? So what do you think about what he's done on the board to date?
So look, him and I butted heads sometimes, as you've seen. He's a very strong leadership approach, got a lot of good things done. We've gotten a lot of great improvements done to our parks, probably $40 million, $50 million of all the county parks. We've done on a financial part well. We've done a great job throughout the COVID. I mean, I think there's things we did in Hudson County that are national models. Like when we started a step-down unit across from Christ Hospital to free up beds in the emergency rooms and beds in the ICU units and other beds just in the hospital for individuals that may be homeless. You couldn't release a homeless individual back out on the street.
Yeah.
So he was instrumental and worked on all that stuff. So I think he's done a good job, even though we've had our disagreements from time to time. But I respect him, right? His style, my style, a little different. But I think they can both be effective, and I think they both have been effective. So I think he was an effective chairman. I think he'll be a very good commissioner in North Bergen, which I know is what has always been his kind of lifelong dream.
Got it. Yeah, no, I mean, that's not a secret to us insiders. But so let's talk a little specific to your district. Obviously, that was that huge 4-alarm fire on Olean Ave.
Yes, we've been
and
working on it.
I believe it was 19 residents displaced, and fortunately, no injuries. But what have you been able to do through either the county or the South Hudson Civic to help these people out?
So we've assisted a number of individuals in being housed in hotels. I worked with the councilwoman on the clothing drive. There's literally like bins and bins. We use the Gallo Center as the major drop-off point for it. And to be honest with you, how much hands-on I get sometimes, I literally yesterday morning went to the Roadway Inn, which is one of the hotels, and picked up a woman, 78-year-old woman, Vera, who's one of the victims, and drove her to Journal Square because every Monday she takes the PATH train to New York to walk with a friend of hers. So yeah, we've been pretty hands-on with it, and we continue to work to do everything we can for the families, hopefully to find them permanent housing, because that's what they're going to need. Yesterday I was doing a call with 2 women who were formerly nuns, Catholic nuns at St. Al's Church, who are now, a family's taking them in at Society Hill, so they have to decide to do with their property, whether they just sell it, whether they try to fix it, renovate it. We're trying to get the building trade unions, because there's been some water damage, to go in there, if not this weekend, next week, to help clear that out, to assist them as they move forward with it. So.
Okay. And of course, I know you're a big aficionado of all things Jersey City politics. So this council agenda is quite interesting, in my opinion.
Yes.
You got this fuel ban on ATVs and dirt bikes. You have this potential moratorium on cannabis applications. And now, as you and I just heard a few minutes ago, there may even be a pay raise for the council members. So your thoughts on these items?
So, I mean, pay raise is ludicrous. I mean, taxes went up substantially last year. the salaries were increased last year. Hopefully that's just a rumor. The percentage that was quoted was out of control. By comparison, since 2009, every year there's a raise. A couple of years, I convinced my colleagues not to give themselves a COL. But since 2009, I've turned down 11 cost of living increases. So I'm the wrong guy to ask about raises. On the dirt bikes and stuff, I appreciate that. Look, that's a problem. They ride all over town. They don't respect the traffic laws. So everything necessary, they're not licensed. If they're not licensed, if they don't, I understand there'll be some resistance, especially from the stations. They make money, but I think that's an important thing also to deal. And on the cannabis one, it's okay to do a pause, but like usually if I'm going to pause something, I'll go, if you haven't filed your completed application by a reasonable date, then it's paused. Not if I don't read an agenda, I don't realize, well, I'm about to file my application on Friday, but now there's a pause. It just doesn't make sense. And I understand that there's a proliferation of licenses going on, but I would think that they should come up with a way of letting applications that have been in and filed, or giving people a reasonable time to file, and then doing a pause or shutting it down after that. So again, that's up to them. I'm not even sure why they're doing the pause. Nobody's really explained all the details of that to me yet.
Oh, and before you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, with Mayor Fulop not running in 25 for mayor, what's your interest in that seat?
So I run for re-election in the primary, and then I run for re-election, obviously, in the general in November. You should schedule me for maybe a week or so after that. We could have a very good, long, interesting conversation.
Sounds like a plan, Commissioner.
Sounds like,
always
a pleasure. Take care, John.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
This thing rips! Oh, it is so quick. There's a lot of punch packed into this Bronco Sport. It's got a ton of horsepower. I love it. All right, now we're getting hairy. Now we're getting the fun stuff. Yeah. I like how we can get over or around almost anything.
Yeah, I dig your ride. I super dig it. It's gonna be a good day.
Growing up can be tough on kids. So much is going on in the world that can cause depression or anxiety. Unusual behavior for more than 6 months could mean they need help. Don't wait. For real-time mental health support and counseling, call New Jersey's Children's System of Care. CSOC offers free mental health supports, substance use treatment, and services for intellectual or developmental disabilities for all kids up to age 21. Call now, 1-877-652-7624.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick, built to defy expectations.
Hudson County View, live and uncut, John R. Heinis. So, as I mentioned, and as I'm sure you all know already, I mean, it's just blowing up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and pretty much every news outlet you could think of is already posted. But still, it just happened maybe 2 hours ago, and I'm talking about Jersey City Mayor Fulop announcing for governor. He's the first candidate to do so in this election cycle. Now, as I mentioned with our guest, Commissioner Bill O'Day, we're still 26 months out, so it's still very early, but he's the first one to jump into the ring, and this is where we're at. So let me read you an excerpt of something that he said in his announcement video that was about 3.5 minutes long. He said, "From my time serving as a U.S. Marine to leading Jersey City as mayor, my career has always been guided by a strong desire to take on difficult challenges and find solutions that help improve people's lives. And now I'm running for governor to bring those same values to Trenton. I'm launching my campaign now because I believe that New Jersey can become an even better place for all of us. And I will be sharing my vision over the coming months for how we will make it happen. I've never backed down from a fight before, and I'm ready to work hard for all the people of our great state to deliver the results New Jersey deserves." So as I've reported on a number of times in the past year and a half, I'll say, there's been these two super PACs, Coalition for Progress, which was formed back about 2015 when it looked like Fulop might run for governor in that primary. That was 2017 primary. That's been around for a while. And we also now have the Fund for Quality Leadership Fund. And they've both combined for about $6.6 million cash on hand as we speak today. And they have been pretty aggressively fundraising ever since Fulop was reelected to the mayor's seat in November 2021. And as you guys that have been following closely know, he's got a lot of support out of North Bergen already. Hudson County Democratic Organization Chair Anthony Vanieri. Of course, we just spoke about him for a few minutes, and he's also the chair of the Hudson County Board of Commissioners, has given a very emphatic endorsement of Fulop, as has State Senator and North Bergen Mayor Nick Sacco. Not a bad way to start things off. And other than that, I mean, just a little history with Fulop for those of you guys that are maybe a little newer to the Hudson County, Jersey City political scene. He actually ran against then U.S. Rep. Bob Menendez in 2004. He managed to parlay that at a successful run for Jersey City Ward E Council seat the following year, 2005, was reelected in 2009, and became mayor against Mayor Jeremiah Healy in 2013. So at this point, we don't really know who else is going to be running on the Democratic side. As Commissioner O'Day and I spoke about, we're looking at Congressman Josh Gottheimer, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, former Senate President Steve Sweeting, Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, Montclair Mayor Sean Spiller, who's also the New Jersey Education Association president, as potential candidates. But right now, on the Democratic side of things, Mayor Fulop stands alone. On the Republican side, it seems like a foregone conclusion that Jack Citarelli, a former state assemblyman that ran for governor twice and came within 3 against Phil Murphy in 2021, is going to run. And NJ 101.5 host Bill Spadia also expected to be in that primary at this moment. But again, 26 months out, a million and one things could happen, and we're going to do our best to keep you appraised of all these things as they come to fruition. So let's also talk a little bit about what's been going on with this Jersey City Hoboken Fire Department merger. Now, we've obviously heard several times over that there is no merger, and last week the Hoboken City Council really hammered that point home and said that this is not something that we want, this is not something that we support, long story short. Now, we heard most emphatically from 3 people here. It was 3rd Ward Councilman Mike Russo, Councilman at Large Joe Quintero, and Council President Emily Jabor. Now, hearing from Russo, who brought this up at a budget hearing at the end of last month and was emphatic that the Hoboken Fire Department needs to maintain their autonomy, he, of course, maintained that stance. So he said, I think it's important, again, going back to my statements earlier, we as a council make it clear, not only to residents, but to our firefighters, that you are not interested in doing any type of merger, any type of takeover. Anything we are going to lose the autonomy of our fire department, and that not just our firefighters, it includes our civilian staff and our dispatchers. So pretty clear cut. And we heard from Quintero and Jabor, who said that, this is a little bit of the rumor mill getting out of control. And, and we heard from the council president, who said that if you guys have any questions, of course, speaking to her colleagues, that you should talk to the public safety director, who's of course Ken Ferrante. He's got all the necessary information on this. And, at the end of the day, the reason that this has gained a little extra traction, as I mentioned on last week's program, is that we heard from the Jersey City Mayor's office, specifically City spokeswoman Kimberly Wallace-Calcione, and she told me that they've already submitted paperwork to Trenton to work on how they could get this auto aid mutual aid program rolling. And if they were to do that between Jersey City and Hoboken after a couple years, per Ferrante at that budget hearing, they could possibly do a merger maybe 2 or 3 years down the line. Of course, that's several lifetimes away in government and politics, as we just were talking about. But again, this is another issue that has big public safety implications in the South Hudson area, so we're going to keep our eye on it every step of the way. So we're going to take one more break. We'll be right back.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape. Motorcraft parts are backed with the Ford warranty, which includes a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee. Our team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Hudson County View live and uncut. John Heinis. So let's talk a little bit about what's on this council agenda tomorrow evening in Jersey City. Now, as we talked about with Commissioner O'Day, the Jersey City Council has a resolution here, and it was actually requested by the Cannabis Control Board that would put a moratorium on cannabis applications for 6 months due to the volume of the applicants. Now, if you take a look at the resolution that's in front of the governing body here, the CCB has already approved, and they say approximately, 61 applications, and 61 have been submitted, 46 have been approved, 8 more have been scheduled, and another 7 are incomplete. So obviously that's a lot, and that's just a ton of volume. And and as we see in the resolution, they're saying that there's a lot of areas in the city that are already oversaturated. Specifically, they talk about Newark Ave, Central Ave, West Side Ave, Communipaw Ave, and Grand Street, that all those areas have a number of different dispensary applications. And as you guys know, there's a couple lawsuits going around about whether or not certain dispensaries are following the 600-foot rule. So, it's a bit of a cluster there. And what they're hoping here is that if this gets approved, that it will give the time for the applicants that have full approval from both the city and the state time to open comfortably, and rather than it just being a free-for-all with everybody basically opening at the same time. So it seems like sound logic to me if that's the way that it ends up going down. And, who knows? I mean, obviously this is uncharted waters. So the other thing, don't forget that back in November, the council had the opportunity to put a citywide dispensary cap, and they were going to put it at 55, but it got voted down pretty decisively, and they cited equity concerns for the south side. Now, obviously, here we are with this situation, so maybe they'd want that one back, maybe not. I haven't spoken to anyone on the council yet, but certainly this is going to lead to some interesting conversations going forward. And actually, there was a Cannabis Control Board meeting last night, so we'll have a story on that later today. The other one that I mentioned was we're talking about selling fuel to dirt bikes and ATVs. Now, this resolution, which is sponsored by Councilwomen Denise Ridley and Mira Prinzari, is something that you may not be used to seeing from your local governing body. And actually what it would do is any gas station that sells to illegal dirt bikes or ATVs that could actually face up to a $2,000 fine. And we heard from Mayor Fulop on this, and he said, we have been working closely with our police department as this issue has become increasingly alarming, and our residents are being put in harm's way due to reckless ATV drivers. This is a necessary deterrent as part of our broader, multi-layered efforts that have substantially improved safety on our roadways citywide. Now, before we go, let's briefly talk about West New York. Two things. So Public Affairs Commissioner Cosmo Cirillo, a declared mayoral candidate, says that he wants early polling locations on the waterfront. Long story short, we have an entire group of residents who have been underrepresented and disenfranchised from voting because there are no polling places accessible in their community. I'm calling on the Board of Elections to fix that. The Board of Commissioners last week approved 2 early voting locations to be determined, and so we're going to see what ends up happening there. Now, as far as a debate goes, you remember that I sat down with Commissioner Cirillo in January. He said he would absolutely do a debate, and he was calling out Albio Series to do the same. The Series camp said they didn't receive any formal invitation, and with about only a month left, there just isn't enough time to schedule this, so they called it a cheap political stunt to call for a debate this late in the game. So, of course, that's on HudsonCountyView.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a week. We'll see you next time.